Now for the Morning Buzz on CCN Sunrise. We have some very serious issues here in California with our water, such as a drought, like we don't have enough,
big
right?
Drought, big drought, yeah.
But not anywhere near as bad as what they're dealing with over in Flint, Michigan, and their problems with their water.
It's out of control over there.
Yeah.
Out of control.
So we want to thank Marc Haefle for being here with us. And you're actually from Flint, Michigan.
I
so
actually grew up in Flint and went to the schools and found it a pretty fine place to live, but I got out of there a long time ago.
Ah, I haven't been back yet, huh?
I've been back a few times, actually.
Okay.
You got to go back there. They keep trying. All I can say, they keep trying.
So you've been here as a radio commentator and a writer. You write for the Times and for a couple other publications. And so you at one point you did move from Flint. Share with us what your ideas are now and about what's happening with their water and the devastation of that community.
Well, it all has to do with the fact that back in the 1980 or so, Flint had 80,000 people working for General Motors. Now they have 8,000 people working for General Motors, and not too many people working for anybody else there in that little city there. This will do a lot to a town. It was a couple 100,000 people when I lived there. It is now about 98,000 people. A lot of 42% poverty rate, 40% unemployment rate. These things will bring a town down. And as a result of this and the associated problems with the city's finances, the governor sent in his own guy to run the whole thing sort of like a overlord. And it came a time a couple of years ago when the overlord said, let's save a bunch of money, and instead of buying our water from the city of Detroit, we are going to take it right out of the old river there.
The polluted Flint River.
Somewhat. Somewhat.
So was that when they were manufacturing cars? Do you think that was a reason for the water to be poisoned, or why is the water?
Well, the water. This is an interesting question. A lot of people think of the Flint River as being seriously polluted. It's actually not. The cars are all gone. They converted all the Buick City and the Chevy in the Hole and those big old plants, hundreds of acres of them. There's in what they call brownfields, which is to say polluted ground that you can't grow anything in, and you keep telling them what you're going to do with it, but you don't ever do it, You
wait about 30 years before we fix something.
Something like that if we're lucky. And anyway, so the Flint River got kind of cleaned up because the Chevrolet plant and the Buick plant weren't just dumping stuff into it since they weren't there anymore. But there's something that happens that doesn't happen in California. You get winter. And in winter, you put salt on the roads. The salt flowed into the river. They took the river water without treating it, put it into the pipes, and the salt in the pipes corroded the pipes and got the lead out.
Right. Oh, okay. Now I understand why. Okay, so
there was almost, what was it, about 18, 19 months that people were drinking leaded water, and it was also coming out in all kinds of weird colors, orange.
And I heard people are walking around with nosebleeds, or
maybe
that was the other issue with the gas over in California, but it's horrific as far as the development of the young children there, and they're saying that it'll be devastating.
I mean, if you're holding water that looks like coffee, why would you drink it?
Yeah, even if it was good.
Yeah, I mean, still.
But it was the lead that actually didn't put any color in the water. The colors were coming from things like chrome and iron that were getting leached out by the salty water.
So the lead may have been going.
The lead was going.
Lead was there.
Lead was there
without any discoloration.
Without any discoloration. Once they got the discoloration out, and they did after a while, the lead was still there. Now, there's a kind of a thing about this. They had been firing city employees for years to save money. They seem to have fired anyone with any brains in the water department.
But I also heard that they didn't show up. Some of the officials did not show up for the congressional hearing. Is that
true? That brings us to Darrell Early.
Oh, okay.
He's the manager who actually said, let's put this Flint River water in our system and save $7 million a year. You know what? No one knows where he is. His lawyer said, you subpoenaed him too late. Like, maybe, I think Whitey Bulger's apartment in Santa Monica is still vacant. You suppose he could be there, but they don't know where he is. And the question is, are we going to send federal marshals around there to drag him in and explain why he did what he did when he did it?
Well, the FBI is involved now.
Yeah,
so,
somebody needs to sit on him. Yeah, definitely.
The FBI is definitely on the case, supposedly, on this.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting because it turns out, I just read in the Detroit Free Press this morning, that the $7 million that they were supposed to save by using, that wasn't supposed to be used for the city. That would have gone back under law. It would have gone back to the people who buy the water. It would have gone back to the consumers. So it wouldn't have saved the city anything whatsoever. And so,
Mark, we're going to wind up seeing what this does to Michigan for years to come.
Yeah, we're going to be still talking about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great deal. Thank you.
Well, appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been sucked into these YouTube videos. Some of them are cute, some are funny, some of them go viral, you know? We're going to have a little segment that we did on our own.
I know. So our very own, our new segment star, Trinity Karjian, is going to be joining us for the YouTube segment. Coming up next.
Yeah.